Hello everybody, I've got a Mark III Mondeo here, 2 litre Duratec. I thought I'd bring this subject up. It's nothing special in particular, but it's just the kind of crap mechanics have to put up with. And this one is down to someone's shitty workmanship, but there you go. I'll just run you through the problem. But before, I was changing the rocker cover gasket. It was leaking oil, and these rubber gaskets, they tend to get hard and flattened, and then the oil just runs past them, and they can actually fill the spark plug holes up with oil. So I changed the gasket. With the rocker cover off, I was going to do like a compression test on the engine as well, because this engine was running a bit rough, like hunting. I'd say not misfiring, but it was hunting. So I thought I'd do a quick compression test while the rocker cover was off and everything. So I switched the ignition on. I got my hand on the ignition key, switched the ignition on, and oh my god, there's no ignition lights. And I even tried to crank it, nothing. Absolutely dead. Nothing at all. And I thought, that's bizarre. How comes I've got no ignition? I thought, oh, maybe the battery's gone flat, it's a duff battery. So I checked the battery, and the battery was perfectly fine. I thought, well, this is strange. So anyway, I thought, stuff it. Right, what I'll do is I'll put the rocker cover back on first, and then I'll do the compression test later. But then, you see here, there's a little earth lead. This goes from the inner wing, driver's side inner wing, and it touches on one of the studs here on the rocker cover. If I can get my light on the subject, there's a stud just there. Now watch this. Can you see the little sparks? The trouble is the sun is shining so badly I can't even see my phone properly. But there, it's sparking. So anyway, and there's something making a little like clicking, like relays making a clicking noise when I touch this earth terminal on. And I thought, hang on a minute, this tiny little thin earth wire surely is not giving all the power to like put our ignition lights on. I'll bolt this earth lead back up, and then I'll put the ignition on and show you. Yeah, right, that's our little earth lead bolted back onto that stud. Now I'll come round to our ignition key. Oh bingo, we've got ignition lights again, everything's working. So let me show you what the problem is. I mean, I instinctively knew anyway that that little earth wire is that's going to burn out. It's too small. So I come over to the battery to see what the problem is. And here you go. You have got, on the earth side of things, on the earth terminal, you've got two main earth leads. One of these should go to the body, and the other one should go to the engine. So I followed the first one down there, and it goes around, and that one actually goes and bolts on top of the gearbox. There, that nut just down there. So we've got one earth lead which is going straight to the gearbox, which is that one there. The other earth lead, I follow it around, and that goes I don't know if I can get my phone down there, you know, but that one goes down to the starter motor, to a stud on top of the starter motor. So that's not right. You shouldn't have both earth leads off the battery going to the engine and gearbox. One of them earth leads should go to the body, and one should go to the engine. The other one should go to the engine, should I say. So then I look at where the earth lead actually should be, where it should bolt on is under there. There's a water pipe there, and there's a bolt hole. Can you see that bolt hole? There's no bolt in it. That bolt holds the gearbox to the engine. There's no bolt in it. but that's where one of the earth leads should go from the battery, straight from the battery to there, and it's missing. So somebody's probably had the gearbox replaced at some point. They've not put that top bolt back in where the earth lead should be as well, and they've obviously not sort of like known where to put the other earth lead, so they've just bolted them straight to the engine. So you've got nothing, you've got no earth leads going to the body. So now when I put one of these earth leads, what I will do is the earth lead, the long earth lead that goes to the, that's been bolted to the starter, I'm now going to reroute and put that back where the bolt hole's missing, where it should be. And this other earth lead that's bolted to the gearbox down there, I shall now remove the battery and I shall bolt that onto the battery tray. It should be bolted underneath the battery tray, where it should, in the correct position. Well, we're getting there. I've removed the battery, obviously. The actual lead that was bolted round to the starter motor where it shouldn't have been, I've disconnected from there and I've re-bolted it back onto the gearbox where it should be, and it's quite a long bolt that actually goes in there, so the actual earth lead is there, although it's hidden behind that hose. It routes underneath the hose. Anyway, our other earth lead off the battery, I have gone round to where it should be, so that is right there. Once again, it's hidden underneath the bloody wiring, but there's your lead and it's bolted to the bottom of the battery tray where it should be. Also, I've noticed there's another earth lead here which is just swinging in the breeze underneath the battery. This is another earth lead similar to the one that's over here, which goes from the engine straight to the inner wing. This particular earth lead here, because I've done these cars so many times I know where they go anyway, this one goes from the passenger side inner wing to the gearbox. But obviously whoever's had the gearbox out or been messing around in this area hasn't even connected this one back up. So I shall connect this little lead to the gearbox where it should be. So now we'll have this little lead back on. We'll have the battery earth going straight to the gearbox, and also the battery earth going straight to the body. If that weren't bad enough, the flipping top radiator hose looks a bit bulged and it's actually dripping water down there. If I get my finger underneath that hose, I've got a wet finger, so I can see the water that is dripped on top of the gearbox. So I think while I'm here, that's gone a bit soft. I mean, it's not that bad, but that hose is definitely bulged to the point where I wouldn't want to trust it much longer. So stuff it. I'll keep these hoses in stock because they keep going, so I'll stick a new hose on before I put the battery back in. We are all back together finally. New radiator hose, all the earth leads are in their correct positions. Earth lead going from the battery to the body underneath the battery tray, and the other earth lead going to the top of the gearbox where it's bolts onto the engine. And the little fly lead that goes from the inner wing to the top of the gearbox is now bolted on, which wasn't even on. So now this earth lead isn't doing more than what it should be doing. Right, I suppose I better turn the key and fire it up. Ignition. Bingo. There we go. So I've got the air conditioning on. I'll switch that off. Where are we? There, let's turn that off. I will put the heater to hot as I'm bleeding the air out of the system. I want to get the heater warmed up first. But anyway, that solved our earthing issue. But just like it goes to show, not everything is actually down to faults with the car. A lot of it can be down to human error, putting things in places where it shouldn't go. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. See you in the next one. Adios.